35,000 choices will slip through your hands before midnight. Miss the first conscious one, and the rest start choosing you. But catch a single step, just once, and the whole day rewrites itself. Ready to test which version of you crosses the bridge? A narrow wooden bridge reaches over a dark river. Fog hides the far side. Only a few planks are clear ahead. A small sign reads, "Walk at the pace you choose." No one blocks the way, yet every plank waits for your weight. This picture is freedom in its simplest form. Nothing pushes, nothing pulls, but every step is yours alone. French thinker Jean-Paul Sartre once wrote that we are condemned to be free. He meant the bridge is always there, even when we try not to notice. No one can walk it for us, and no one can change the marks our shoes leave behind. Consider this question. What belongs only to you, yet strangers may say it more often than you do? Your name. It proves you exist, yet it lives on other tongues. Freedom works the same way. Personal, but always seen by others. A second puzzle follows. I can break without a sound, and when I break, I set you free. What am I? A habit. Break one, and new ground appears. Keep it, and yesterday repeats. Freedom is the power to keep or drop habits on purpose, not by sleepwalk. The fog thins and 3 tall doors stand in the air. Door 1 glows with quick delight, sweet food, loud clips, fast praise. Door 2 holds slow skill, books, tools, steady growth. Door 3 flickers with risk, unclear roads, real chance to leave a mark. A voice inside whispers, choose and pay. The price is time, effort, and the weight of whatever lies beyond each frame. Many people turn away, telling themselves, I had no real choice. Sartre called that move bad faith, acting trapped so we can dodge the cost of deciding. You reach for door 2, the door of slow skill. The lock clicks, not because it is light, but because the act of choosing matches the key already in your hand. Inside, the room smells of fresh wood and ink. Simple tools wait on benches. Half-made ideas hang like small star maps on the wall. Each item looks basic alone, yet together they hum with promise. Time passes. You shave a board, draw a line, feel the grain. Early strokes fight you, later strokes glide. Sweat beads, shoulders ache, yet the surface grows smooth. No crowd cheers, only the quiet reward of matter listening to steady hands. On a shelf lies a thin notebook marked Log of Choices. Each line records one plain act. Opened the slow skill door. Smoothed the first board. Sharpened a dull blade. Copied a page of notes by hand. Read the page, and a clear pattern shines, like stars joining into a shape you can name. Algerian writer Albert Camus would say this is proof that meaning is built, not found. Leaving the workroom, you step back onto the bridge. Fog has moved, showing every plank you crossed. Each one glows faintly, remembering your weight. On the rail rests a small brass scale. One pan reads thought, the other effort. If thought is heavy and effort light, plans stay words. If effort is heavy without thought, work loses aim. You set today's notebook in the effort pan. The needle rests in the middle. A quiet sign that idea and action met on even ground. Jean-Paul Sartre once said, "You live first, then write the script." Albert Camus, French philosopher, quote, "Life can feel random. Answer it by acting anyway." Simone de Beauvoir, French existentialist philosopher, "My freedom grows only when it respects yours." Each sentence is short. Living them is long work. A short spark from history also proves this point. On the 1st of December 1955, Rosa Parks stayed seated when a rule said she must stand. Comfort said move. Conscience said stay. She chose the harder line and paid in hours of arrest and years of risk. That single act helped shift public law. Positive freedom at full strength. The power to act, even when the cost is high. Think of one habit that feels stale. A random scroll, an easy snack, a sigh before work. For the next 5 days, break it once on purpose. Write the date and the tiny result in a pocket note. After 5 notes, see if a new shape appears. Your own star map in simple ink. If the plan fails, freedom still waits. You can start a new draft tomorrow. Existentialism protects that right. You never lose the chance to edit. Fog rolls back farther. Another stretch of bridge appears ahead with doors you cannot name yet. Freedom does not end, and duty does not sleep. One invites you forward. The other reminds you to carry the weight of your step. Tonight, choose a door in your mind and name the price you will pay. Write it down or keep it quiet in your chest. Either way, the first step you take tomorrow will carry that decision as soon as you press down. The fog closes in again, swallowing most of the bridge. The planks you crossed still glow behind you, but ahead is only dim gray. You feel lighter than before, until you notice a thin object in your hand. It is a flat wooden mask, smooth on one side, blank on the other. Across the brow, a short line is carved. I must. Jean-Paul Sartre warned about masks like this. He wrote that we often hide behind words such as duty, policy, or habit when we wish to dodge the hard weight of choice. He called the hiding bad faith. In plain speech, it is the moment you decide, then pretend the decision was forced on you. So here is a quick puzzle about blame. I speak before I think and decide before I know. What am I? Think on it. Excuse. An excuse lets the mask slip on. It tells both speaker and listener that freedom never existed in the first place. Picture an office cafeteria, bright with white tables. 3 small groups form lines for their meals. In the first line, a man sighs, it's the only option, and lifts the same greasy slice he picked yesterday. No sign limits his choice, yet he treats the tray like a chain. He wears the mask that says, I must. In the second line, a woman studies the 2 trays. She hears herself think, I need to save money. Across the glass, she spots a cheaper, healthier dish. She pauses, removes the mask, and reaches for the new plate. Nobody cheers, yet one minor cost shift changes her week. A third person leaves the lines, carries a packed lunch from home, and sits by the window. She writes a brief note. Today, I fed my goal, not the menu. Jean-Paul Sartre would call her move authentic. She saw the open bridge, weighed the price, and stepped without blame. Imagine a small chalkboard on the bridge rail. 2 columns sit under a single title, True Costs. Underneath, 2 columns. On the left, what we say. On the right, what it really costs. I can't leave this job. But the real cost? Trying, failing, learning something new. Policy won't allow change. But beneath that, drafting a better plan, facing pushback, taking ownership when it doesn't work. I'm too tired to improve. And behind that, smarter rest, cutting what drains you, saying no where it matters. Bad faith moves the cost, from action to story. The story feels safer, but it buys the same hours either way. Albert Camus wrote a small essay on the myth of Sisyphus, the man doomed to roll a stone uphill forever. Camus ends with a surprising line. One must imagine Sisyphus happy. Why happy? Because once Sisyphus admits the hill is his, the gods lose their final grip. He no longer wears the mask of forced labor. The push becomes his own sentence, spoken freely. Let's take a short example from the history. On 29th May 1913, dancer Václav Nijinsky performed The Rite of Spring in Paris. The music crashed and stomped. The crowd hissed and shouted. Yet Nijinsky kept counting beats aloud backstage, guiding the dancers through chaos. He later said, "I speak with the earth," his way of naming choice, while others named scandal. Bad faith would have blamed the crowd, the composer, the noise. Instead, he owned the moment and let history decide the rest. Today, his risk is taught as a birth moment of modern dance. Here is a simple test for you. Write one sentence that begins, "I could change, but maybe. I could learn Spanish, but I'm too old." Set a timer for 2 minutes. List 3 ways that "but" is weaker than you claim. Time pockets wasted on scrolls, friends who would help, small starter lessons online. Read the list once. Even if you choose to keep the "but," it is now an honest choice, not a hidden mask. Bad faith hates daylight. Truth shrinks its power. A second puzzle for you. I grow faster the more you share me. I disappear the moment you claim I was never yours. What am I? Responsibility. Own it and it widens. Deny it and it slips away, leaving only blame behind. Return to the brass scale on the railing. Set today's could-but sentence on the thought pan. Set one small opposing act on the effort pan. That might be a 5-minute language exercise, one saved dollar, or a simple draft email. Watch the needle. Even if the pans are not level, you now see the distance instead of guessing it. This is the first cure for bad faith: measurement. Simone de Beauvoir adds the second cure. Remember that every time you hide behind "I must," someone else loses a room they could have entered. Freedom shrinks in pairs. It also grows in pairs. Here is an example. A public library posts a sign, "Computers limited to 1 hour." Sam sits, watches the timer, and sighs, "I can't finish my resume in time." The guard did not say Sam must use that library or that machine. Sam could draft on paper, ask for a silent extension, or return in 2 blocks. Sam's mask says, "The rule is the wall." An honest check says, "The rule is a fence with 3 easy gates." Tension drops, choice returns. Tonight, lay the mask face up on your desk. Just imagine it there. Speak one task you keep delaying. Then, in a single plain sentence, name the cost of doing it and the cost of skipping it. The bridge will hear you. The plank beneath your next step will know which voice won. When morning comes, look at the mask once more. If you step with it on, walk knowingly. If you step without it, walk proudly. In both cases, the mark is yours, and the fog keeps honest score. The fog lifts just enough for you to see the bridge from above, as if you're watching your own walk in a quiet film. Every plank behind you shines with the mark of a choice. Some firm, some shaky, all yours. Ahead, fresh plank boards waits. A thought rests in the air. If each step writes a line, what kind of story am I making? French writer Simone de Beauvoir said that a person's greatest risk is pretending to be someone else's idea of good. When we copy a part we never chose, we shrink on the inside, even if we look safe on the outside. Here is a mirror test for you. At the rail stands a round mirror. It is plain glass, no gold frame, nothing fancy. Words appear across its top edge. Tell one short truth. You look into the glass and say, "I like black coffee." The mirror stays clear. Try again. "I enjoy loud music at sunrise." Still clear. Now say, "I hate conflict." The mirror clouds for a moment, then clears again. It seems to accept firm facts whether they match others' taste or not. The point is simple. The clearer the truth, the clearer the reflection. Sartre would call this an authentic claim, a line you own without a tremor. De Beauvoir would add a size check. Does this truth crush someone else's space? If not, keep it. If yes, trim it. Real freedom grows best when there's room for both you and the next traveler. A puzzle for you. I follow you everywhere, yet I only show what the light allows. What am I? Think on it. Your shadow. It proves you're real, but never shows all of you at once. Likewise, any one label, job title, family role, city name, shows a slice, not the whole. Remember that when you feel reduced by a single word. A wooden table stands nearby with paper and a short pencil. You draw 5 simple stars and add words beside each. Black coffee, sunrise music, long walks alone, deep talks with one friend, fixing old things. Now join the stars with the lines. They form a shape no one else owns. That shape is a first draft of your honest map. Stick it in a pocket. When a crowd tries to hand you their map, touch yours for a reminder. Think of Rafi, who tells every group, "I'm easy, go anywhere you like." He eats food he dislikes, hears music that grates, laughs at jokes that land flat. People call him nice, yet he goes home dull and tired. One night a friend says, "I never know the real you." The words hurt more than a direct insult. Rafi sees he's been missing in action from his own story. He starts with one small truth. "I prefer quiet diners." It feels risky, but the friend nods and says, "Me too." The next meal is calm, and for the first time Rafi tastes his own choice. That is how an honest script begins. One true line, said aloud. Quick note from Camus. Camus wrote, "In the depth of winter, I discovered an endless summer inside me." He means that when the outside world looks frozen, we can still keep an inner fire if the fire is ours to tend. The bridge widens into a small deck with a wooden bench and 3 books. No titles on the covers, only colored bands. Gray book, stories other people wrote for you. White book, blank pages for truths you have tested. Red book, pages full of loud claims never checked. Pick up the gray book. It feels light, but stale. The stories inside tell you how to dress, vote, and smile. Some pages may fit, some may pinch. You set it down. Open the white book. Blank of paper always feels both free and heavy. No guide, no blame. You write one tested truth, black coffee at dawn, and close the book. The weight is small, but it is alive. Now open the red book. The pages shout big promises. Perfect health in a week, instant talent, endless fun. They glow, then fade. Close it quickly. It leaves a faint buzz in the fingers, but nothing in the heart. Thought for exercise. Write a claim about yourself in 5 words. Example: I never waste free time. Ask: 1. Is it true for 5 straight days? 2. Would I keep it true for 5 weeks? 3. Will it still fit my life in 5 years? If it passes all 3, ink it in the white book. If not, pencil it and review later. Simple rule: if the pen shakes, the claim may be borrowed. In 1846, Danish thinker Søren Kierkegaard published a thin book under a pen name. He argued that a single yes or no, said in front of God or the self, is worth more than hundreds of half-true words. He wrote the book even though most people mocked his style. Today, the tiny volume stands as a seed of modern existential thought. Point: a clear line, owned early, may echo long after doubt is gone. The brass scale returns. This time one pan is marked my truth, the other your space. Place one small claim on the truth pan. I work best in quiet. Place one respect token on the other. A pair of earplugs to share, a polite note, a time swap. If the needle tilts evenly, the bridge ahead feels wide. If not, adjust until both pans settle. Simone de Beauvoir would call that real freedom in company. Fog begins to move again, but this time you walk with your map in hand. Each plank underfoot takes the weight of a person more sure of their own script. You do not need to broadcast the map. You only need to read it before you take the next step. Tonight, add one line to the white book, something small you proved today. Tomorrow, test one penciled line or erase it. Pages will fill slowly, but every page will be yours. The bridge respects that kind of progress. It lights new boards for authors who keep walking with open eyes. The bridge widens into a quiet, open space, like a small field floating above the river. Wooden frames of many sizes stand in rows. Each frame is empty, waiting for color, story, or craft. A note hangs over them. Fill what is blank. Leave blank what is false. Algerian writer Albert Camus saw life as a wide, clear sky with no printed plan. He said, "The meaning of life is whatever you can build strong enough to stand in daylight." Put another way, the world hands you empty frames. You decide what picture goes inside. A soft memory floats up from history. The scientist Hideo Noguchi worked in a small lab with weak lamps and thin coats. Each night he slid tiny drops of blood on glass, hunting a new cure. He died young, but his slow work helped shape medicine that later saved millions. His frame was small, the picture he painted grew large. A quiet question. I start empty. The more real time you place in me, the more I grows in worth to others. What am I? Think for a moment. A craft. Any task you work until it helps more than just you. It might be a lesson plan, a chair, or clean code. Walk among the empty frames. One catches your eye, a simple square of unfinished wood. It feels right, though nothing inside yet shows why. You lift it onto a bench. There are 3 tools waiting. 1. Brush, puts color where none exists. 2. Hammer, joins pieces that might fall apart. 3. Cloth, wipes away dust so the picture can stay clear. Across the bench sits a small cup of paint. Label reads, "Time, use sparingly, dries fast." You dip the brush and make the first stroke. One bold, dark line. Minutes pass. You add detail, test color, wipe errors. The empty wood begins to speak, not loudly, but with growing shape. No one watches, yet a warm pulse in the chest says the work itself is alive. Jean-Paul Sartre quote, "A man is what he makes with what he is given." Read once, it looks simple. Work for an hour, and the line feels true in muscle and mind together. A traveler walks by and stops at a safe distance. You lift the frame and show the rough picture. They nod, smile, and ask, "How did you start?" You offer the 3 short steps: pick, touch, adjust. The traveler walks away to find a frame of their own. Meaning grows twice, once in the work, once in the telling. During World War II, London's Royal Opera House closed when bombs fell. But stagehands still met each week. They repaired broken sets and tuned silent instruments so that, when peace came, art could return in one sunrise. Their frames stayed empty to the crowd, yet full of ready promise. Everyday test of the 1-hour rule. 1. Pick any chore: washing dishes, outlining code, weeding a garden. 2. Before starting, whisper, "This hour fills a frame larger than myself." 3. Name that larger good: calm, safety, beauty, order. 4. Begin. When time is up, check if the task feels lighter. Often the weight drops once you link action to meaning. A quiet question. I disappear if you try to keep me, and I grow if you share me. What am I? Think for a moment. Knowledge. Keep it locked and it fades. Pass it on and it doubles. A small sign appears beside the frames. Fork here? Underneath lies a box of simple plans, recipes, open code, old poems without names. Anyone can copy, change, and return. Philosopher Simone de Beauvoir would smile, seeing freedom multiply by allowing the next person space to add. When you push your framed work to that box, the blank river of someone else's day may gain color. On a new scale, one pan is marked noise, the other signal. Noise is the number of likes or coins a task might earn in a hurry. Signal is the steady help the task gives when today's noise fades. Set your frame on the scale. It will never read 0 noise, 0 signal. Fine-tune until signal leans just a bit heavier. That small tilt is enough to last beyond tonight's hum. Write this line on a scrap. Today I cared for one frame. Date it. Post it near a light switch or computer screen. Let the words remind you that care, not applause, keeps pictures bright. A study from Stanford, 2017, asked people to write personal goals in their own words. Follow-through rose almost 40%. The frame you name in your language belongs to you. The world's phrases slip off when the wind shifts. Camus would nod. Meaning sticks when the sentence is yours. Time to move on. You set the partly painted frame to dry. Step back. From a few feet away, even the rough edges show purpose. Fog rolls in again, but you now carry 3 clean tools and a cup half full of fresh time. Another bridge shows faint lines ahead. The work traveled with you. You didn't leave it behind. Tonight, think of one blank frame waiting in your life. Maybe it's a language book unopened, a patch of soil unturned, or code commented out. Name the first brushstroke, one clear, short action. Place it on tomorrow's list before the fog thickens. When you step on the plank at sunrise, time will wait, but only for a moment. Dip the brush, touch the frame, and watch blank wood begin to speak. The fog thins, and for the first time, you see another traveler on the bridge. They walk toward you, steady and quiet. Their steps have carved soft light into the planks behind them, much like yours. Here, where two paths meet, freedom begins to test its true size. A short thought from Simone de Beauvoir rises. My freedom needs yours so we can both grow. Plain sense. Choice feels larger when it leaves space for someone else to choose too. The traveler stops a few steps away. You nod. They nod back. Between you sits a box of 3 items. A rope that can pull. A plank that can bridge a gap. A mirror that can reflect. No voice tells you what to do with these pieces. Both of you stare, then look at each other, waiting. Consider this quick question. I grow bigger the more you share me, yet shrink if you hide me. What am I? Give it a moment. Trust. Trust is the first tool that lets two freedoms work side by side. You lift the plank. The traveler lifts the rope. Together you slide the plank across a small crack in the bridge floor. It covers the gap so both can cross. The traveler ties the rope as a handrail so no one slips. The mirror stays in the box, ready for the next pair. Work done. You both step across, then feel the boards grow brighter under shared weight. In 1969, 2 nations raced to put a human on the moon. Once the goal was met, some feared space would split friends and rivals forever. Yet in 1998, 15 nations began building the International Space Station. Different flags, languages, and currencies, but one floating lab. They traded blueprints like puzzle pieces, each filling what the other lacked. The station still circles the Earth every 90 minutes. Proof that shared work can outlast noise. Jean-Paul Sartre. The gaze of another helps me see me. Martin Beauvoir, a voice close to existential thought. Life finds meaning in the space between I and you. Albert Camus. We build in common so the wall will stand when one mason grows tired. Each line reminds you that freedom in a crowd is not a puzzle of control, but a dance of respect. Here's a quick puzzle. I start with one voice. When a second joins in true answer, I double it once. What am I? Think for a moment. Dialogue. When honest talk meets honest listening, the room of choice gets twice the light. Back on the bridge, 2 benches face each other. You and the traveler sit. No one speaks for 1 full minute. At first, the quiet feels heavy, then it settles like calm water. Each of you writes 1 line on a slip of paper, some goal, some worry, no names. You trade slips without reading your own. Now you carry a piece of their private road, they carry yours. Neither can solve the other's task today, but the weight is lighter because it is shared. De Beauvoir's point in action: freedom grows wider when it helps lift another. The brass scale appears again. One pan reads, give, the other keep. Place something small and give. A skill you can teach, a tool you can lend, a kind word you can spare. Place something small in keep. Sleep you need tonight. Focus for your own craft. Boundaries around quiet time. Watch the needle. If give and keep rest near level, the bridge ahead looks safe and wide for two. If not, adjust until the line centers. Too much keep starves trust. Too much give burns the self. Think of Mira and Jonas. Both carve figures from stone. Mira shares her method notes online every month. Jonas keeps his steps guarded, fearing theft. A year later, Mira's files have grown through comments and fixes from strangers. Her figures stand taller and cleaner. Jonas's work is still solid, yet his chisel hand shakes. He carries every doubt alone. Sartre would say both are free, but only one trusts freedom enough to let it breathe. Practical test for trust. Choose one small thing you know well. How to format a tricky spreadsheet, how to tune a guitar, how to bake a soft loaf. Offer that skill in one clear sentence to a friend or online group. No big class needed, just a note. Happy to show anyone this step. If someone accepts, spend 15 minutes teaching. Mark the date. See how often trust circles back in the next month. Shared freedom often returns in ways the giver never planned. A question. I protect you when I face danger, but I trap you when I face yourself. What am I? Think for a moment. A wall. Built in the right direction, a wall is shelter. Built the wrong way, it is prison. Use walls to keep harm out, not to cage honest voices, yours or another's. Remember the star map you drew earlier? The traveler pulls out one of their own. You place the pages side by side. Some stars overlap, some drift apart, some stand alone. Together, you draw gentle lines where patterns meet. That new shared map is a guide for future talks. Where to walk in step, where to walk alone, where to offer a bridge. A small screen rises from the bridge rail. It plays a short clip. People from 5 cultures fixing bicycles in silence. Spare parts pass from hand to hand. No single face leads. Bikes roll out stronger than when they rolled in, each painted a new color. Under the clip, a sentence fades in. Freedom gains color when it travels. Camus would likely nod. Work done in common often paints brighter than work done in secret. The fog begins to clear for good. Ahead, the wooden bridge touches firm ground on the far bank. You and the traveler walk the last few planks side by side, neither leading, neither led. At the landing, your paths will split again, but the boards behind you glow twice as bright. 2 sets of prints, lighter because the work was shared. Think of one choice waiting tomorrow that will touch another person. Name it softly now. Then name one small way you can keep that other person's space wide while you step forward. Write both lines on your pocket note or hold them in thought. When the first step comes tomorrow, feel how the board responds. If it glows brighter, you'll know. 2 freedoms moved at once, and the bridge grew wider for whoever walks next.